Good evening. I'm Alice Bloom, and joining me is my sidekick,
Ken Barron.
Welcome, Ken.
Welcome, Alice, and we're off and running again. We have a new seat this year. We're up high. We're down next to the judging stand.
I know. We're at the 67th Annual Firemans Parade in the village of Mamaroneck. 67. Have we been doing this for 67 years?
I haven't. How about you?
No.
Actually, the first one, if you think about it, was 1947-ish. Was the first year of the carnival, and they've had the parade, so I probably watched it as a wee one.
Okay.
But,
well, I always forget the carnival.
You're going to get a lot of hear that.
We're located directly across from the reviewing stand this year.
And you're probably going to hear a lot of background as we go along this evening, particularly with Dave Vaughn at the mic.
Oh, okay, so we're going to hear about what the reviewers are going to be doing.
Yes.
Okay. What are we going to see first?
All right, what we're getting here is the Village of Mamaroneck Police Motorcycle Unit and the Harrison Police Motorcycle. You've intermixed. And if you're watching from home, you may even see things from Portchester, town of Mamaroneck. Everybody loves a parade, and they all like to show off their motorcycles. So we'll probably get quite a mix as we come up. And they're also very noisy.
But they are rather spectacular. Are these new lights?
Yeah, they go. Well, we now have all this fancy electronics now,
Village of Mamaroneck Police Department Motorcycle Unit, Harrison's Motorcycle Unit, and everybody else's.
Are they LED lights? LED lights.
Absolutely, LED lights with electronic. There's a mixing box up there somewhere on the top of the motorcycle. They can get all kinds of patterns.
It's quite impressive. What's always so exciting is as we start, the sun is just starting to set, and of course it's quite hot, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, but there is
here.
a bit of a breeze, so it's not all bad.
By the time we're done, we're in the dark, and the lights and the sirens are spectacular. Okay, so first we're going to see the Village of Mamaroneck Police Motorcycle Unit.
Along with the Harrison, and if we look closely, there'll probably some mingling of other, as I don't believe the Village of Mamaroneck has 30 or 40 motorcycles. So.
Probably not. Now, who do we have to give a shout out to tonight?
Well, when we get to the color guard, we have Private Second Class John Nagel, who is a member of Hook and Ladder, who has gone off to the military, completed basic training, and I believe has been assigned someplace in Texas.
I see, but he's here tonight.
He's going to be in the color guard.
Okay.
I would guess he'd probably be in uniform. Yep, I see Yonkers motorcycles. The county unit, Portchester is here, Stanford is here, more county outfits. Harrison. I don't think anybody's home for motorcycles tonight. Scarsdale. Yeah, if you're worried about a motorcycle patrol tonight, they're all here.
They're all here, and they're all heading down to the harbor.
Hamburgers, hot dogs, and refreshments.
Okay. The lead band is the Danbury Drum Corps.
I think we're going to get the... here we go, the Danbury Drum Corps. Okay.
And they're going to lead in the color guard. The color guard will be led by Skip Donahue, ex-captain Bill Freezer, fireman Victor Malinowski, firefighter Dave Malinowski, and of course, Private John Nagel.
The color guard will be the unit following the band.
Right. Just wanted to get some names in because they always go by so quickly we don't do that.
Okay, well, we're going to get it. We get a jump on it this year because we're up high and we can see it coming. Danbury Drum Corps, Danbury, Connecticut. Looking sharp in their white and black outfit. All right, here we go.
Here is our color guard.
John Nagel is the fellow walking behind the color guard. Private Second Class John Nagel, which is the U.S. Army. Looking very sharp here.
Okay, I don't know if you heard that.
Well, we've got the
Grand Marshal
is being driven by past Chief Hap Hughes, driven by his daughter Kathy Hughes.
I don't know if everybody knows it, but Hap has been in charge of organizing this parade for
Actually,
years.
He's been the parade he's the Grand Marshal, and for over 10 years he's been the organizing power behind the scenes. And we have a new kind of fire apparatus here, if you're catching them. One of our latest pieces of equipment. That's cute, isn't it?
Very cute.
I'm sure the little guy wonders what the heck is going on, but we're doing okay. And we're now showing off the Village of Mamaroneck Chief cars. 2241 is Chief Robert Pescia's vehicle. We've got the two assistant chiefs' vehicles are side by side here. 2242 would be Craig Castorella, and Assistant Chief Tracy would be in the one with 2243 on it. If you can pick up the license plates.
All SUVs.
Yes, they're much easier to work out of than the sedans. Sedans are hard to work out of. When you open the back of these, there's a radio console and there's communications with the county and other organizations. Okay, where we got here? All right, this I believe coming up is our 73-year member Walter Weber, driven by his son Keith Weber. And Walter Weber for many years was a school guard crossing up at Mamaroneck and Soundview up at the top of Mamaroneck Avenue up there. And I'm not sure, but Walter's got to have about 90 years in the fire department.
Well, it's wonderful that he could come. Okay, and who is
okay,
this?
Now we've got this 50-year members of the fire department. We've got ex-Captain Robert Smith, who came out of the Columbia Fire Company, up on Barry Avenue, along with Peter Reeling. And then we got two other 50-year members that aren't in the parade. You got ex-Chief Anthony Cordy and firefighter Jerome Elston. All of these gentlemen come out of the Columbia Engine and Hose Company.
All right.
And we got the ladies' auxiliary here in the Village of Mamaroneck. They must have relieved these ladies of pizzeria duty down at Harbor Island. They've all been down there making pizza free all week.
Oh, well, it's a little quiet, so we can mention that the carnival goes on until July 5th.
Correct. Also, if the weather gets crummy on the 4th, we will plan to go with the 5th.
Oh, for fireworks.
Yes, if that storm that's on the coastline, actually, more of the ladies' auxiliary here.
Right. Ah, this
all right,
is the Explorers.
and this is our Explorer group. Yes, all teenagers.
Right.
Hopefully, we're going to recruit most of them into the fire department, and as they turn 18.
It seems like a larger contingent than we've seen in the past.
Yes. Okay. All right, now we get the village officials, led off by
Mayor Rosenblum.
Mayor Rosenblum in the blue outfit.
Yes, that's
Looks
quite
like he's going to jump in a race car, doesn't it, that outfit?
I wouldn't be surprised. And trustees in the village of
Trustees, in
Mamaroneck.
fact, what was it? Last night he was down cooking pizza frite. He was behind the pizza frite stoves, cooking pizza frite.
And there's Steve Otis, our assemblyman, and Tom Murphy, town of Mamaroneck, Rich Slingerland, our village manager, and there's Leon Potok. I'm sure we didn't get everybody, but and of course Janie Elkine, who has to come and visit. She's from the town of Mamaroneck.
All right, our first division is coming up.
Robert Andrews Jr. and Second Lieutenant Bruce Traponi.
Oh, that's over here. That's over here. Yeah, that's these guys.
Oh, I can finally read.
Hey, the sun is peaks below the bank building.
Okay, who do we have here now?
We got the members of the Village of Mamaroneck American Legion units as the color guard, looking sharp in their shiny helmets and rifles.
I haven't heard any bagpipes yet. You think they're in
we
our...
haven't. Looks like we got the Knights of Columbus coming through. Looks like.
The Knights of Columbus.
Okay, you were right. The Knights of Columbus. They have their own color guard, of course.
There you go.
And they're followed by the Mamaroneck EMS.
Yep. The Knights of Columbus, you'll notice the gentleman with the purple regalia, and then the white regalias. I'm not familiar with the Knights of Columbus, but it must all relate to positions in the organization.
Right, followed by Mamaroneck EMS.
Yeah.
Emergency Medical Service. We're devoted to them. We're devoted to everybody here tonight.
Absolutely.
I mean, we owe them a great deal.
This is a 24/7 operation, so... And if you have any liking for medical, we're always looking for volunteers.
Is that right? If somebody wants to
Absolutely.
volunteer, who do they call?
The EMS people go down to the building. I'm sure there's a number they didn't give us tonight, but they're always looking for people. Always.
Do you have
And
to
if
be
you wanna-
specially trained?
You've got to have first aid medicine, and after that, they'll help you out.
Okay, so they'll tell you what you need to
They'll do
know.
the training, because even as you move along, we need people to drive the ambulances.
Sure.
Things like that. So
Okay.
there's lots of positions. If you have any interest in medical and want a little background, practical experience, they'd love to have you.
Do you have to give a great deal of time?
They have schedules worked out.
So even if you have a few hours a week, you might be able to...
I'm sure they'll take use of you, make
Okay.
use of you.
Okay.
And Larchmont has a group that have been restoring historical fire equipment. That's one of them going by. And there's a couple other. Here's your favorite.
My
hats.
favorite, you remember.
Your
The
favorite
Larchmont
hats.
folks with the hats on fire.
There you go.
There are sadly fewer and fewer of those hats each year.
Yeah, well, they do wear out, and parts are becoming scarce. Many of them have been made from numerous other ones.
I see.
But it's an old parade tradition. We got to remember, one time we didn't have street lights.
That's true. That's true. I guess
At
they were
one
very
time.
useful.
Okay, so riding in the white fire engine, we have the...
We have Miss Westchester Teen and Miss Hudson. Miss Westchester Teen is Stephanie Bavilar. Miss Hudson is Brittany Drahos.
Dahos, I believe. They wave nice. There you go. That arm will be very tired by the time they get to Harbor Island.
This is a relatively short parade.
I've often wondered when you watch that thing on 5th Avenue how their arms hold up.
Yes, that's a lot longer.
You're not looking, there's a little brace underneath there. So.
Our first...
This, I believe, is part of the reclamation division where they've taken old pieces of equipment and redone them.
I see.
29 to 59 was probably the years it was serviced or something. I'm not sure what that means, 29 to 59.
But that's privately
I doubt it's a
owned.
29 truck. It might be a 59 truck, but it's not a 29 truck. Okay, where are we?
Okay, I think we're
This
listening to
must be-
Company B.
Company B has the shirts on,
Oh.
I believe. Unless they've changed outfits on me. And they cheated. They didn't put their name on the drum.
I expect they're leading in Portchester.
Yes, looks that way. Portchester's come along.
Ah, yes.
That
put
was
the
Company
glasses
B, I guess, leading Portchester band. So
on. Did you doubt me?
Yeah, no. Why would I do that? No, it's the Tappan Z outfit that has the colorful shirts. That's the
Okay.
one. If you're watching the, those were fire axes once upon a time in the color guard, and they get them all chromed up for parade purposes. And
Now, as we
I don't
always-
know, for those of you that may not be aware of it, one of the competitions among the parade is the most men in line.
I see. And Portchester
Porchester's
is...
doing a wonderful job here this evening.
You know, they're so lucky. While it's been a pretty warm, humid day today, it's really pretty comfortable now. I always feel for everybody in their dress uniforms, you know.
Well, they're not the wool ones I started out with. They're now more nylon-ish. They're not
good.
as heavy as they once were.
But they look pretty dapper. I mean,
Oh,
they're-
yeah, no, they look good.
Usually when we were sitting a block down and we'd see everybody relax after passing the viewing stand.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, and here comes Portchester's Explorer group with their young group. And they're pulling a hand-pulled hose cart.
Right.
Village of Mamaroneck also has one of them. I haven't seen it in the parade yet, but way back when, that's how they got hosed to the fire scene. A couple guys had to go to the firehouse and pull it.
Right. Where do they store it?
Well, ours is on the truck floor here. They probably keep in the back. I think that's the one on Westchester Avenue. I've seen it from
I
time
see.
to time. I think that's where it is. And the guy in the back is actually the brake when they go downhill. It's his job to keep it from running over the guys that are pulling.
Not an easy task.
Yeah, and here we go with their Chiefs cars. You will notice that most Chief cars these days are SUVs because
Right,
they're
we were
much
talking
easier to
about that
work
before.
out of.
It's taken a few years to turn them all over, but
Well, when you get to a fire alarm, there's all kinds of communications equipment. There's distant testing equipment. There's cameras for looking for fire. So you need a vehicle that you can get in and out of easily. And that's why they've become more popular. Plus the fact if you're wearing turnout gear, try driving a sedan wearing turnout gear.
yeah,
That doesn't work well.
makes good sense.
And we got Portchester rolling by us with an engine.
Worcester certainly brings a huge contingent.
Yeah, well, they certainly do. And we got...
They're guaranteed to get a trophy.
There you go. 1, 2, 3. Well, I think
Now-
they got 5 pieces of equipment here, if I counted.
Oh, I think it's more than that. We've lost track. Now, of course, they also have to leave equipment at home and have
Yeah,
coverage.
there's definitely a duty units at home with people standing by. So if there's an alarm, they're covered. If they should really have a real calamity, then everybody would bail and head home.
But nobody leaves their community unprotected.
No, you can't do that. That's a calamity waiting to happen. There's always somebody home at the barn.
Has that ever happened? Have we ever had somebody leave the parade because
Yes,
they've
we've
been
had
needed?
that a couple. Town of Mamaroneck's been out one night. Harrison left one night. Here in the village of Mamaroneck, we had a major working fire one night during the parade. So
Really?
it was an all-hands call.
Well, it's sad whenever you have a fire.
That's-
However, if it's the one night a year that you've been planning for, and of course the planning starts the day after the parade.
Yes, they'll start the next one. You'll
Oh.
notice these buses, way back when we used to come to parades sitting in the apparatus, which has proved to be an unsafe thing, so now we transport them in buses, basically.
I
Which
see.
is why you're seeing the buses in the parade line.
Now comes some of my favorite equipment. I love the old fire trucks.
Hey, here you go. This is Pelham Manor's old fire piece of equipment.
Beautiful old
they
truck.
bring out. There still is a crew of people that do this as a hobby,
Yeah.
refurbish old equipment. And this is a tough thing to drive, burn up the clutch, getting that thing. No automatic transmission here.
Is that right?
That's an
gotta
old
be a
manual
tough
transmission.
drive.
That's a tough ride. A handbrake.
Yeah.
Tries not to stall it. It's embarrassing if you install
Oh,
it.
my favorite, the Yorktown
Yeah,
Irish
bring
Pipe
it
and
back
Drum.
down.
I was waiting for the bagpipers. All right, let's listen to them.
Yorktown Irish, Pipe and Drum. Town of Mamaroneck to us.
This particular group of bagpipers was actually formed in 1998 from the Yorktown Irish Pipe and Band Group, and it's out of Yorktown. If you live up in the area, they're also you're musically inclined. I'll bet they'd enjoy you.
And who are they leading in?
All right, and they're leading the Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department, and it looks like they've done a nice turnout also. Where Portchester marched tighter together, they've kind of spread across the avenue if you're watching at home.
Great to see them.
And it looks, looking down the line, it looks like they brought all of their equipment.
It looks like, well, they could get home quickly if they need to.
Nice group, Town.
Nice turnout.
As you're watching the paraders march, the fellows wearing the white hats in these outfits would be the officers.
Okay.
The ones with the black hat would be the hard-working firefighters.
Okay. Is it an honor to be chosen to march in the Fireman's Parade?
No, not an honor. Actually, they put up a posting, who wants to come. The reward is hot dogs and refreshments. And when they're local like this, you get to wave at a lot of your friends and family. A lot of families. I've got a brother came in from Texas to watch this thing
Oh,
tonight.
what fun. What fun.
Who actually was a career firefighter with the Town of Mamaroneck.
The town did bring
You know, now that we're up a little higher than we were before, we see the crowds. This is really quite a packed street.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're what? Got to be 6 or 7 deep all the way down the avenue. It looks like.
There's Ernie O'Dearna, Town of Mamaroneck. He gets to ride.
Ladies and gentlemen.
But as I arrived here about 6 o'clock, people had left their chairs to mark their
Oh,
spots.
yeah, it's like going to you've been on a cruise ship, they put the books and towels on the benches so that nobody will take them on them. Same thing here.
But the street was sparse. You saw just a few
Yeah,
chairs.
but until
now it
the
is
crowd.
packed.
Yeah.
It is packed. It's a beautiful night.
They all came out of the restaurants and such places
Right.
to watch the parade.
I've seen a lot of pizza walk down the street.
Oh, yes. In fact, I was watching a fellow sitting with the family up there before, the box on his knee and the kids reaching for the pizza.
Sure, why not? Well, we do have enough pizza in the village of Mamaroneck.
Yeah, we do that.
And it's all great.
Yes.
We just all have our preferences.
And we now have a good number of restaurants lining Mamaroneck Avenue. Try and park down here about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. When you see the ones that say rescue on the sides of them, they're pretty much carrying different kinds of equipment, the jaws of life, and special tools for automobile accidents or any kind of a rescue operation that might somebody in a ditch or such thing. But have a special equipment and specially trained firefighters to handle it.
Well, firefighting has changed a lot,
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
Well, as society has changed, we've had to change. You know, the kind of fire they used to have versus what we have now. Plus the fact we have 95 going through town. Every once in a while we get a call to the railroad for a car that has a problem. Usually an electrical motor underneath them, but every once in a while a problem. And from time to time EMS has to show up and take somebody off the train for medical reasons. All different.
Well, there's also transportation of some hazardous materials down 95.
Yep, there are that.
I mean, we don't like to bring that up, but it is true.
They're going through town. The road goes through town, and
That's
the
right.
trucks go right on through. Hopefully, they go through with no issues.
With no issues. But firefighters have to be prepared.
Oh yeah, we practice
with
all
them.
that stuff all the time. Take special classes to handle it. And new equipment is always coming forth.
Oh, a little bit of a break, but I see my favorite
Yeah.
horses coming down the street.
Oh yeah. Well, the other thing for those watching home, we do get breaks in between probably the divisions and things like that, because they need to let some traffic through the Boston Post Road, so we get these gaps.
Well, pacing this parade is not an easy thing to do, considering the density of the village of Mamaroneck and the cross streets. But look who's coming. Are those horses beautiful or what?
Absolutely.
All right.
And those are heavy-duty horses. Those aren't ponies. Those are heavy-duty.
They are beautiful.
The horses know you're doing it. Watch them step to that. Picked right up. I'm not sure who's sponsoring it, but it's a nice looking
Yeah,
rig.
we don't have them on our
Needs a
list.
sign. Needs a sign.
Needs a sign. I think that truck is used for hay rides. I have to believe.
Yeah, I would think so, but
But they're
the
leading
fact
in the White Plains Fire Department.
Okay. And our notes didn't cover who was on the
No,
horse-pulled unit.
we'll have to find out.
All right, here we go. White Plains Volunteer Fire Division.
How many volunteer fire departments, all volunteer fire departments, would you say are left in Westchester?
Only a handful of all volunteer. Most of them are well, though once you get north of 287 in the north end, they're almost all volunteer.
Are they?
It's in the southern tier where the population density and such things are such. I talked about a hand-pulled piece of equipment. That's what the Jeep has on the back of it. It's another hand-pulled piece of
and they're
equipment.
citing it as 1895.
There you go. I think ours at home here says 1897. something
Okay,
like
but
that.
same vintage.
Well, that's how they did it.
Right.
They'd ran to the firehouse, they
Right.
got these, and they had to pull them. And they had the one guy assigned to the back as a brakeman when they went downhill to keep it from running over the guys that were pulling. And the ones where the flags are sticking out, that's the nozzles, if you're catching it.
There are even dogs attending this
Yes,
parade.
and he's a noisy one over there. Maybe he doesn't like the noise.
Well, this is not the place for him. It's going to get worse.
Yep.
All right, are we still looking at the city of White Plains?
Yes, this is their equipment.
City of White Plains.
Okay. Oh, I hear another bagpiper.
Yep.
Spirit of 76.
Okay. Spirit of 76. Drum and fife, I think we call them.
Drum and fife. That's what we
Fife is another name for the little flute.
Yeah, for the little flute.
You can sound good with 3 people.
And they are bringing in Eastchester's fire department, also a volunteer firefighters.
I'd say the one guy wearing a headband looks like somebody shot him.
I hope that's just for a fact.
Just for a fact. And then we got the Eastchester file. And here comes the mayor. If he makes it up okay, that was good and well done.
All right, another 1890 pumper.
When you get to this, keep your mouth very close.
Okay. The noise.
Yeah.
As close
All
as the
right,
water.
in this hiatus, we're joined by the mayor of the village of Mamaroneck, Norm Rosenblum. Welcome, Norm. That's quite a cute suit you're wearing.
Thank you very much. Actually, this is one of the official uniforms for the Jim Rosenblum FDNY Racing, the official race team for
Okay.
the Fire Department of New York, the NASCAR, and the Truck Series.
Okay, are you very warm?
Yes, I'm very warm. The irony is, though, you're sort of used to it because when you're racing, it can be as high as 110, 115 degrees in the pit, so this is not bad.
Now, do you race, Norm?
I'm in a pit crew. To race in NASCAR, you have to be licensed, and you're driving 160,
What does the pit
180
group
miles
do?
an hour.
What do
They
you
keep
do in the pit
cars
crew?
running?
Actually, several different jobs I've had, but the past couple of years, as I'm getting older, I'm now I hold the flag or the emblem. So when the truck comes
where to
in, he
stop.
knows where to stop.
I see.
Because if he goes over the line, it's a penalty. You lose a lap.
I see.
Okay.
And why did you choose to wear this uniform tonight?
Because I think it's symbolic of everything that this entire department represents. And we say this every year, and every time we talk, the entire team are all volunteers, made up of local people from the village of Mamaroneck, guys that are retired from NYPD, FDNY, and it represents, I think, what NASCAR originally represented, which is, what's great about America, the freedoms. And sadly, this is a happy occasion, but at the same time, I think we have to remember not to take our freedoms for granted. You only have to look at the news and see what happened in the Middle East or the 300 girls. So Mamaroneck represents the best, especially the volunteers.
Right, it certainly does. Well, you certainly organized a wonderful night for the parade.
This
And
was
I'm
great.
sure
I
you're
put
going
it
to take
in.
credit for that.
Unfortunately, they didn't listen to the air conditioning part of the request, but that's okay.
Well, all right. You
But
can't
we'll
have
suffer with it.
everything. You
Next
can't
time
have
we'll have a big cold refrigerator
Right.
back there for you.
Now, how involved is village administration in the organization of the parade?
Very little. I believe that I would say 99.9% of the parade is organized by the fire department and their different commissions. And
Yeah,
as you
and,
can tell, the organization works so well every year that government's not involved.
Okay.
Well, we're supported by DPW and whatnot to get the crowd control horses and things like that out and get the signs up on the parking meters and such things. I want you to come a little
Right, so
closer.
there's a lot of
Okay.
cooperation, but the village doesn't really have to be involved because it's so well organized by the fire department.
Well, absolutely. The fire department, requests from the village, first of all, to have the parade.
Sure.
There's a lot of technicalities. But fortunately, actually, a lot of the members of the FDNY, the Village of Mamaroneck Police Department, the DPW, and everyone else, EMS, they're all involved or employees of the Village of Mamaroneck anyway. So it's one big family.
One big family. Norm, we're going to let the bagpipes pass, and then I'd really love for you to update us on changes that are happening on the Main Street, on Mamaroneck Avenue in the
Perfect.
village.
And
Okay.
there are a lot.
But we'll let the bagpipes have their play.
We'll bring Texas Fire Department to us.
All right, Rockland County, Ancient Order of Hibernians, Memorial Pipe Band, another organization that makes lots and lots of parades around the county. And they're leading out the Purchase Fire Department, as you can readily see. And as you can see, as the Purchase Fire Department comes up, we recruit early.
Now that's a pretty good hike for that little guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the length of the parade is.
Recruiting early.
That's right.
But this has got to be a mile walk. I'd like to see if he really.
That is a mile.
Right.
At some point, he might be on Daddy's shoulder.
He deserves it. All right, we have a little bit of a break. So since we have the mayor as our captive now, I'd love to know what the big changes are going to be on Mamaroneck Avenue. What's happening?
Two have already started. Actually, if you went by the old bridal shop, you see that building is now down. In the front part, you're going to have retail stores. In the back, you're going to have 6 upscale condominiums. The other building that is just about already up and finished is all retail. That's like 2 doors up on the other side of also, which is pretty much a new building where the foot massage place is. We just passed a local law that affects any building on Mamaroneck Avenue from the Post Road to Halstead Avenue that before you can get a demolition permit, you have to go through the process of going to the land use boards first. And the main purpose is to encourage not having an empty hole in the ground like where the regatta was for 10 years. It's not to delay anything or bother it. It's to work with any potential developer. Of course, the big potential question now is what's going to happen with the Playhouse.
Yes.
That remains to be seen. The owner has an as-of right to do what he wants with it within the local zoning code. But hopefully the village and we've requested the IDA of Westchester County to get involved. And if they would like to come to the table, maybe we can improve what they want to do and also have improvements to what the village would like to see.
Do they intend to take the building down, the Playhouse down?
I don't think they have any specific plans. One of the plans that they talked about was to leave the marquee in front and the part of the building where you walk down where the stores are, and then from the area where you bought the condiments all the way back, they would knock that down and put up condos. But they may have choices to do something else. If they so choose to do it, God bless them, they do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can work with the village and the county and make everybody a winner.
How big a loss is the loss of the cinema to the village of Mamaroneck?
Well, according to Bowtie Cinema, economically it's not a loss because they weren't making any money, and that's why they chose not to convert it into a boutique-type theater.
But to the village, I mean, was that a draw for the restaurants?
It certainly could be, but there are a lot of people that claim they didn't go. A lot of people said that, we should save the theater, but when you asked them when was the last time you went, it was several years.
Well, it's hard to compete with the multiplexes in Port Chester and New Rochelle, but I think as a parent, it was always wonderful that kids could go to the movies and have pizza on the avenue, as they became adolescents
absolutely.
And be out on their own a bit.
I've lived here all my life. The movie theater is always a place to go. It's anything that you can do locally helps keep the people here. But on the flip side, if they do choose to go the other way, you're going to increase the tax base. And there are other potential developments going on in the village of Mamaroneck. One very exciting actually is coming to fruition is what they call the TOD, which is the transit-oriented development. The new zoning codes and laws have been written. They will be discussed and probably in August. First to coordinate all the haphazard zoning from the railroad bridge down towards Avenue School. I can tell you weekly we get people that come in and want to develop in the village of Mamaroneck. And like I've said before, any municipality has to continue to develop, but the trick is do it without changing the character of the village. We don't want to be in New Rochelle or White Plains or Port Chester. That's why we're continuously rated #1 by a major international real estate firm, by CNN Money Magazine. The reason why people want to move here, and you don't want to change it.
Right. No, it's a big challenge because I'm sure that developers have their own ideas of what makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. You continuously have, whether it be Mamaroneck Beach and Yacht Club, Hampshire Country Club, there's always 2 sides, and in the village of Mamaroneck, 3 and 4 sides of every story.
Of course.
That's why you, as the Mayor and Board of Trustees, you have to be very careful that when change is requested, you look at it, you study it, you don't say no, but you don't say yes right away either. It's just a matter of common sense. But the whole idea of maintaining growth and the character of the village of Mamaroneck.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I think that we are being outshouted right now, so. talk.
This looks to be the Torrington St. Peter's outfit is one of those marching bands that gets involved in some of the competitions. And we're Get Ossining, which is another one of the departments that competes for the most men in line. And they're well packaged here tonight, too. That's a good, strong color guard they've got. Marching real tight. Make a difference. Look at that step. Right step. Looking good.
Well, everybody's looking very dapper here because we're right in front of the reviewing stand.
Well, this is where the points come from.
That's right. They don't start to slouch till they get a little beyond here. I wonder if we're being reviewed. You know, are we going to get a trophy?
Yeah, right.
We've never gotten a trophy.
I'll go for a beer stein. That's
Are we live? I want to thank you very much. You guys are as important to the history of the Village of Mamaroneck as everybody. I look
we
forward
hope
to
we're
seeing
important
you
to the present,
good looking faces every year. Thank you very much.
Thanks so
I
much,
appreciate
Norm.
it.
Thanks
guys.
for stopping by.
Talk to you
Take
more.
care.
Just careful on that side thing. There's nothing to catch you.
All right, we've got the town of Ossining.
You and I
here.
should be in different positions here, you know. More of you. Well, we can get two at a time.
Alice, how you guys doing?
Hello.
Good.
How are you?
Okay, we're joined by Leon Potok, trustee in the Village of Mamaroneck, and Tom Murphy, town councilman. Well, you guys look just wonderful marching down. Leon, you look very well dressed. I hope you get a trophy.
My best dressed trustee.
I followed my wife's instructions.
Oh, good.
Perfectly.
Tom, not so much, but but you look comfortable.
I was very comfortable
good.
for once.
There's no dress code for officials, huh?
No, I saw Rob Astorino wasn't attire, so I figured, you know, he's the highest official in Westchester County. He's setting a standard here.
That's right. He usually stops by to say hi. I'm surprised.
Oh, he'll be
he
by,
didn't.
believe me.
All right, we've got another slight lull in things.
Oh, what a break.
Okay, Armark made it.
Assistant Chief is Paul Burns. Personnel.
David does such a good job, doesn't he?
He does.
Announcing.
Well, you know,
Yay.
we are usually a block away, so we can barely hear him. And while he's doing a good job, he's competing with us. So it's a little bit of a challenge.
What we need to do is pipe him into the show, and then we'll,
Right. Well, maybe next year. Maybe we can do
pipe
that.
it right in there.
He has a nice baritone.
Yeah. So do you folks, you're both longtime residents of the village. Do you like to march in the parade?
It's different. It's different from watching it on the side. I mean, you see everyone on the side, but you miss the entire parade. So we have to come back afterwards to watch.
You get to
everyone
wave to
parading.
more people.
Right.
We
Yeah.
wave to people.
Right.
It's nice to see folks on the side.
But is it fun? Is it fun for you to march?
I like
yeah.
to march. I always
Absolutely,
like to
it's
march. It might be the Irish thing. The Irish like to march. We have our
is that
marching
right?
seasons.
Nice uniforms.
It's fun. You know,
Mill
I've
Plain,
done it both.
Connecticut going
I sat on
through.
the sidelines and I've been marching. They're both good experiences. It's a great night. The weather in the past few years has been amazing.
Yes, in all the years we've been doing this, we were only rained out once.
Yes.
Only once that I can recall. So,
All right,
Yeah.
Mill Plain obviously is in the Danbury area based on that.
okay, we have a little bit of a break before the next
What's the
contingent.
farthest
and
that
the
you've seen so far? Who came from the farthest?
Well, Mill Plain might be up there, but we end up getting Mill Plain is up north of.
684 tonight.
It's up in the Danbury area, someplace
Right.
up in that area. But we get Broad Channel
Oh,
from Long
yeah,
Island.
sure.
Yeah.
Germantown, Connecticut
Totowa.
is up there. Totowa
Totowa.
comes in.
Okay.
Bodega, New Jersey is also out there a ways. Usually Bodega and what was it?
Germantown.
No, there's another one out there that we get. Every year they compete for the longest Totowa out here in Jersey, and Bodega, they usually compete for the furthest. Every once in a while somebody squeaks them out by a mile or two, but
now,
there is a...
A Broad Channel is kind of a hybrid because they're in the city of New York and they're
But
still
they're
a volunteer
fire
organization.
department,
Yeah.
yes. And actually Broad Channel was one of those communities that took it the terrible
Really
beating
bad.
from the storm.
Really bad. Yes.
And then a lot of people from that fire department were definitely deeply involved in getting
Yes.
the community back together.
So, Tom, tell us what the Vantage is like from the town board.
Yeah, I really enjoy the town board. I enjoyed being on the village board. It's a different experience. It's obviously a different group of people, and you're dealing with different issues, and I hope that the town and the village, and I think we will work together on projects in the future, because I think that's really the way we have to go in the future is through municipal cooperation and to working together, because it's the power of more customers lowers the price as it was. So hopefully that'll happen in the future, and with having somebody from the village on the town board, hopefully will help facilitate that.
Okay. Are you the first resident of the village of Mamaroneck to sit on the town board?
Oh, no. There's been many.
Paul Ryan.
Steve Chapin, Dolores Battaglia lived in the village for a little while when she was supervisor.
So there's quite a legacy there.
Yes.
But we have a band coming up, and we have a policy of letting them have their way.
Sounds like good policy.
This particular band is made up of New York City police officers.
There's Torino for you.
And they're leading off the Harrison Fire Department. Just had Mr. Ostorino go by, shaking hands, talking to the crowd.
He knows he's always welcome to stop by.
I think they're chasing him down.
Okay, well now, Harrison brings one of the largest contingents.
Well, yeah, they're basically about 2 miles at Firehouse.
Right.
About
Okay.
2 miles from here. They can cover that quickly,
Okay.
if needed.
All right.
Hopefully not needed. And it looks
Now-
like they got most all the gear
Now,
here.
Leon, do you have to run for election this year?
Yes.
And Tom, do you have an election in November
Yes, I
as
do.
well?
I'm running for a non-expired term. The rest of Phyllis Whitten's term.
Okay, so you
I'm
have
gonna
to
run again next year for a full term.
Okay, so you both are going to be very busy come the end of the summer.
We'll be doing a lot of walking. This was a good practice.
Okay, good. We're warming you up.
Yeah, go
They bagged all the votes.
But I still remember, and I'm sure you do too, when the village of Mamaroneck elections were in March.
Sure.
And you had to do that, you're marching in the snow.
Yes. I think
This has got to be-
2000 was the first year. Oh no, 1999 was the first year that they did it in November.
November,
Yeah.
right. So that's got to be a little easier.
And I think it's a great idea to do it in November. It's just when everybody's primed to vote.
Well, we always thought that there would be a greater turnout in November, and that has not happened.
No, it has.
Well, during
has.
the presidential year, it certainly has.
In a presidential year, for sure. But other than that, it really hasn't made much of a difference. Leon, what are the big issues in the village of Mamaroneck that you'll be addressing in the election this year?
There are big issues in terms of big initiatives that we're looking at in terms of the Army Corps of Engineers. We formed an industrial area redevelopment steering committee to look at what we can do to rezone the industrial area. Those are long-term initiatives. There are issues that will not be at the board level, but have been percolating for several years in terms of Hampshire and its proposals for redevelopment. But I think, by and large, the issues are, budget issues. How does one handle the budget? How does handle, development in the village? What are the priorities? What are the criteria for development? How do we protect the character of the village? How do we enhance Harbor Island Park? Those are issues that come up. They're perennials. They don't go away. You just have to continue addressing them.
Well, I think Hampshire is the one most people think about. Is that dead? The Board of Trustees declined to entertain their application for a rezoning.
Right.
What's the next step?
The next step is for Hampshire to file a plan with the Planning Board, which is the official board that will consider site plans, and part of the review will be what they're entitled to as of right, which is residential, but also alternatives, including a condominium plan, if that's what they would like the planning board to consider. Otherwise, the planning board is restricted to R20 zoning, residential, be it single-family homes or cluster homes, but the planning board can ask and will ask for a condominium alternative to consider as one of the alternatives.
Have they made an application?
And that will require rezoning by the Board of Trustees, but the planning board is most expert at considering land use.
I see. So Hampshire is not dead. It's still a place in play.
The issue has been what's the proper venue for considering alternative plans for Hampshire?
Okay.
And the Board of Trustees is not. We don't believe it is.
I see. Now, Tom talks about better cooperation in planning and working with the village of Mamaroneck. How do you see that happening?
Well, one of our initiatives at this point is to eliminate the assessment function within the village and rely on the assessments that are done by the two towns, by the town of Rye and the town of Mamaroneck, and that will save us money both in terms of assessments, the assessment function, and in terms of tax certiorari legal expenses. So we project it could be $150,000, $180,000 per year we would save. But we're still going through the due diligence of that process to make sure we've got it right.
Okay, good. Well, so you have some big things on your plate. And of course, as long as we have another minute, the rezoning of the industrial area. Now that's probably a gem in the village of Mamaroneck that has not properly been explored.
People have talked about the industrial area for decades. There have been studies for the industrial area with very little in the way of initiatives beyond the study. We hope and we plan to, we formed a terrific committee of residents, people with a varied range of backgrounds, who will rely on outside experts to do some of the heavy lifting, but we look to them to come back to us with recommendations on what we can do to better utilize, have that space in the village better utilized.
Okay. Well, it looks like we've got bagpipers coming down the pike. So I want to thank you both for being here. It's always a pleasure to talk, and we look forward to talking with you in a quiet time. Bye.
All right, as we go along, you're going to see that we got the Westchester Firefighters Pipe and Drum Corps, and most of these guys are members of different fire departments throughout the county and do appear in lots of parades around Westchester, New York City, and the environs in the area. And they're leading the City of Rye Fire Department. And if you're picking up Dave Vaughn in the background, I almost could stop talking.
We don't talk over bagpipes. That is a policy we set years ago. And our friends from the City of Rye. City of Rye. So we're right in the middle of our second division.
Yes, we are.
Second of 4.
Yes, and we're about halfway through the total. We got this is the 16th unit, and we've got 36 signed up, so we're about halfway through the parade. And if you like fire department equipment, this is the place to be. Lots of different things.
It also seems like there's a return to the old red fire trucks.
Yes, there is. Well, colors are all chose by the departments, but red has always been traditional.
Well, but for a long time we saw a lot more green and yellow ones.
Yeah, well, they go through these color schemes from time. Because once you get a piece of fire equipment, though, you probably have it for 20 years, so those colors stay with you for a while. I don't know while we were talking with the gentleman, Kent Cliffs went through, which is a small department north of Carmel and Putnam Valley up that way. They also had that big shiny tanker, which in their case, they don't have hydrants like you see outside your house. They actually truck the water to the fire, and that's what that big silvery-looking tank was on the back of that one truck.
Well, that's a challenge. We take so much for granted here.
Here you go.
Okay,
This is lively, and actually we're going to get them twice. They're leading the Larchmont Fire Department. They're going to go to Harbor Island, jump on a bus, and come back and lead Brewster Fire Department.
I see.
So
They
they'll
probably
get their
don't even-
evening's work cut out for
They
them.
don't even get to get a hot dog, right?
Afterwards, they get 2. Let 2 fire departments, you get 2 hot dogs. I've always liked their shirts, and this can be a very lively outfit if you're watching.
Come on! What was his name? Larchmont Fire
Okay, our friends from Larchmont.
There you go. And you'll notice the fire department color guards carry axes, not rifles. Tough to fight a fire with a rifle.
All right, now they should be leading in the Broad Channel.
Well, we got
department.
Larchmont here.
Right, it's still
Broad Channel
Larchmont.
may have been one of those issues that was delayed, maybe? I'm not sure.
No, they arrived, but they came a long way too. So they must have left very early today.
Well, this is Unit 18. Broad Channel should have a 19 on the front of their piece of equipment when they get to us.
Now Larchmont has one
Fire station, that's the one down there on Larchmont Avenue.
They seem to have a lot of trucks for one.
Oh,
station.
yeah. Well, it takes a lot to cover the area. But you got to remember, everything is here.
Yes, I guess so.
The rolling crew is here. If the call comes, they go.
I think this is probably one of the nicest parades in that people really do wander into the street and can do that without.
Take the pictures and what have you.
Right, right.
Well, some of them are family members getting other members of the family in the picture.
I don't know if it's our different location, but this parade seems a lot noisier than I remember.
Well, that's because we're down here by the band and a little more crowd activity.
and we're across from the reviewing stand. Dave has a good voice.
Yeah, boy, he projects.
Yes, he does. Gives us a little heads up. But,
Yeah.
All right, Broad Channel is coming down the street. Now that's way out on Long Island, I think.
Yeah, that's a Long Island, along the south shore of Long Island. It was one of the communities that got beat up in that Hurricane
Hurricane
Sandy.
yes.
All right. There you go. They bring their music with them. They don't need a band. They just play their own music as they go. Jump and shout. Jump and shout. The wind is blowing some of our equipment around, so if you're... There's a color for you. How do you like that color? How do you like that color?
Well, I tend to be fond of red.
Actually, we have a member here in the fire department by the name of Jerry Byrne. One of his sons is attached to the Kent Fire Department, and the other son is here to the Broad Channel Fire Department.
Oh, is that right? So firefighters tend to keep it in the family.
It is a family tradition, much like the police departments. They pass them down. My father, grandfather were all in the fire department.
Is that right? I didn't know that. And where? Where did you grow up?
Well, my mother and father are local, are native. They went through Mamaroneck High School. My mother was basically Larchmont. Her father was part of the Larchmont Fire Department when they had horses to pull the fire equipment. Then his son followed him into the department and retired out of Larchmont as a captain.
So you had no choice.
Yeah, no choice.
It's going to happen.
And actually, there was a Chief Martin in the Mamaroneck Fire Department back in the 1890s who was my direct line of great-grandfather.
All right. Now, who do we
wait, we have John Paul leading off as marshal.
Right?
Okay. John's the tall one. If you don't know John, very social here in the village.
JP.
Better known as JP. And the Brassman Band here is out of Harrison. They appear in a lot of our local parades. Most of these players are neighbors in one form or another. Vinny Keck, the gentleman with the white braid on his hat, is a village employee, works with the DPW, has been part of a number of bands here in the county. And this is Ardsley, the Brassman led on.
Now, are contingents encouraged to bring their own bands?
Yes, they are.
So they always
Actually,
say yes.
each fire department, if they choose to have music, they hire a band to come along. Those bands do get a stipends for appearing. I mean, they have expenses, gas, replace instruments, uniforms.
Oh, look at that beautiful old truck.
Yeah, look at this old one coming along.
1928, I understand.
Yep, that's what. Part of our antique collection.
Beautiful.
And they work
that was
hard to
from-
keep them up to service.
Now, that's from Ardsley.
That's from Ardsley.
I wonder if anybody's ever had to call them into action.
Not often, but every once in a while they need a pumper for an unusual event, and they'll put them into service.
Right, because I'll bet they still
also
function.
do the antique division. There are pumping contests where they have to go out and pump water and get water and pump water, see how much they can get out in a given length of time. Everything's always a contest. You have to have contests. Who can put their boots on the fastest? You have to have contests.
All right, now what's going to be our next contingent? We saw Ardsley. Did we see West Harrison or Elmsford? Who's coming
We
down?
saw Ardsley. I think we're getting a break. This has got to be West Harrison
Harrison.
coming up.
We were right.
See? Just listen to Dave. He gets this squared away.
There we go. And what's his first name? Jerry. Baba Gallo. Augie Fosco's nephew. How about that? Augie works for Village of America and then that's his nephew. Come on. This is West Harrison. Look at there, young people, huh? Or younger people.
So West Harrison brought an Explorer post with them.
Yep, that they did.
Okay.
Most, a good number of the departments around have the Explorer post because it's a natural feed into the department.
It's a
you
great
get the kids
idea.
young and early while they're interested, and they come with basic training to a certain extent. They know what a hose is when
Is
you
it
send-
like a Boy Scout
It is a
group?
Boy Scout. It's
Oh,
an
it is.
Explorer post in most cases, sponsored by fire departments.
Okay.
You know, if you happen to have family likes airplanes, you could be an airplane Explorer post. Different types of areas, something like the 4-H has out in farm country. Same
And
kind
it's supported by the fire department?
Yes.
I mean whatever the costs are,
Yeah, they
for
are.
training and
training and
entertainment.
entertainment,
Yeah.
hot dogs and refreshments.
Refreshments. That's a big part of teenage entertainment, right?
Always hot dogs.
I don't know. In the village of Mamaroneck, it could be pizza.
When I first came into the department, they call them tubed steaks.
And you fell for that, huh?
I certainly did. Every once in a while, I'll ask the wife if we're having tube steak for dinner. You know, she gives me this odd look.
Okay, West Harris, and you brought a very nice contingent. And who do we have after them?
Followed that should be Elmsford, and according to our notes, I think we get another band.
You're
here.
right, the Westchester
Westchester
Police
Emerald
Emerald Society.
Society. Right.
Oh, okay. So we have a moment to talk. Now, this year, the parade is not dedicated to anybody in particular.
Not that I'm aware of. No,
Right.
Nobody brought that to my attention.
Right. But as we said, it's the 67th annual parade.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've missed a year, have they?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think there was one year we had some weather issues.
Well, okay, they had to call it, but it was disappointing.
Interesting part, this history of the upcoming band, which is the pipe and drums of Police of Westchester. They've appeared in all over the place in many parades and events. They've been down in New York City as part of the St. Patty's Day Parade.
Okay.
They've also appeared in many major entertainments. They've been at the Lincoln Center for Performing Arts. They've worked with the Clancy Brothers, the Wolf Tones, the Fury Brothers, Boys Band of Dublin. I think this outfit also made a trip over to Ireland to play one year.
Now, of course, we started to talk about the carnival, and many people don't know it, but the carnival is a fundraiser for the fire department.
Absolutely, yes. Well, it's one of the reasons that we run it every year. It basically, the money that goes to our social events. Also, a portion of it is rededicated back to a number of the organizations in the village, like the football teams and the little leagues and those type of organizations, food pantry and what have you, all get a donation based on from Carnival funds.
So you don't just go down there and have fun, you're also supporting the fire department's
And other
charitable efforts.
organizations here in the village.
Right.
Of which I will say many of our members are part of those other organizations. Also, the two high schools get money from the fire department that actually comes from Carnival Fund. We support their scholarships. And this is the Helmsford contingent coming along. Also looking very nice, and I'm enjoying and watching them all straight and stiff here in front of the reviewing stand.
They look mighty handsome.
Yep. The lines are straight, they're all in step. Fantastic. And I don't know if you're picking up on it, but more and more women are appearing in our line of march.
I noticed that. It's starting to happen. That's a good thing. How many women are there in the village of Mamaroneck Fire Department?
I'm aware of about a half a dozen. I can't say that I've actually done a count. We have 3 in the hook and ladder company that I belong to, and the other departments do have some members also, but I've lost track of how many.
I wonder if women know that they can do that.
I'm not exactly sure how the word goes out, but you know, many of these women probably daughters and cousins and family members of other members in the fire department. In Hook and Ladder, we have the Farrell family, father, son, and daughter.
Oh, nice.
Currently, the daughter is captain of our company. They move along.
Is she a good captain?
Yes, she is.
She tough?
Not that tough, but she's good.
Okay.
She has the female way of getting the job done.
Oh, well, I don't think I want to go there. All right, we have a little bit of a low.
Nice
Welcome. Hi, Andre, trustee in the village of Mamaroneck. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for
Now,
having me.
Tell me about the shirt you're wearing. Is this...
It's just standard village.
Oh, is this standard? I haven't seen one.
We have to get it. We have to get it on our own. Actually, they don't. Not taxpayer expense.
Oh, and I wasn't thinking that, but I think it's a great idea to have a uniform.
I like it. My mom says I wear too much stuff with my name on it, though.
Oh, is that? Well, it's a good way of not getting lost. I mean, somebody will bring you home.
Yeah.
we see somebody walking along with a bullhorn, then we'll let you know you're overbearing. We're also going to get your picture taken, so smart.
All right. Well, before we start to talk, Ken, who's marching down the street now? Who's our next contingent? And then we can talk a little more.
We got Hawthorne coming along.
Okay. Well, while we're waiting for Hawthorne, Andre, how do you like marching in the parade?
It's actually one of my favorite things.
Is that right?
I still haven't gotten the wave quite down yet.
You're going to have to practice. You'll have to practice that.
Stand at the mirror.
Yeah.
Gotta get them fingers wiggling.
Now, Andre, I don't remember. Did you grow up in the village as well?
I didn't. I grew up in Greenberg, but I've been living here since 2010.
Okay.
This is my fourth or so parade.
Great. Did your parents bring you down here for the parade? There's so many people.
No, but I live on Mamaroneck Avenue, so all the parades go right past my house.
Oh, no, but we've met so many people who come from quite a distance to see the parade with their
it's
small
a very
children.
popular parade, as you can tell by it's already an hour in, and we're nowhere close to being done.
No, nowhere close to being done, and the crowds are not dissipating.
No, it's a beautiful day, and we got beautiful weather this year.
And do you go down to the carnival afterwards as well?
I do. And also the 4th of July fireworks that we fill the park. We double the population of the village.
Is that right? Oh my gosh, yes. Well, this year I know there's a little concern about weather. And Ken tells us that if they can't do fireworks on the 4th, they'll do it on the 5th.
Yes, the rain day for the fireworks is the 5th.
Okay, so let's have fingers crossed that it works out for the 4th.
If you have any pull, just push the storm out to sea.
We put the work order in. We'll see if we can make it happen.
Now, does the fire department do the fireworks, or does the village of Mamaroneck?
Actually, they hire a private organization, and it's funded through the village.
Through the village.
It's a professional company. Is what they do. They launch it from the beach, I believe.
Okay, good. So do trustees in the village have any reviewing obligations?
For the parade?
For the parade.
No, that's good. I think we'd probably give all the points to Mamaroneck.
Hard to know. I know. I always like to pass by Chatsworth Auction House because they have all of the trophies sitting there for a week or two before the parade.
And there is quite a pile of them.
Oh yes.
I had friends over, and they're like, "Why are all those trophies in the window?"
Right. All right. Well, we have a policy here. We don't talk over fife and drum, so we're going to be quiet for a moment. But Ken, tell us who they are.
This is the Steve Driscoll Memorial Pipe and Band. Steve Driscoll was actually a firefighter that was killed at Twin Towers in New York City, and the band is named in his honor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's why they have the word memorial in their name.
I see. I didn't know that.
Here comes some old equipment. Look at this. I think my current SUV is bigger than this one. And this here is an actual pump that's on the trailer.
Yes.
You see those handles in the air? They can actually pump water with that thing when they get the hoses into a lake or trough or something of that nature.
So clever. We have a lap. We were just talking earlier about how lucky we are in the village of Mamaroneck. There's so much that we take for granted, and one of which is fire hydrants and water. As we've seen some contingents bring down trucks that truck water to the fires.
Yeah. We're also lucky to have an all-volunteer fire department, so we're one of the few municipalities that has a municipal all-volunteer fire department.
If I can put in a plug, when you're paying your insurance bill, you'll find that you have one of the smallest rates in Westchester County based on the amount of equipment, water supply, and training.
Really?
And we have a very good fire rating because of our department.
Really? Well, that is very good news. I'm sure the realtors tell people that when they sell homes.
And now we're actually getting an even better, we put the paperwork in with FEMA, we'll be getting a better rating for flood insurance because we're a community that has our flood program in place.
Okay. Well, we probably have just a few minutes before the next fife and drum contingent. What issue in the village of Mamaroneck do you think is paramount to that residents should think about?
Well, in terms of safety, we have flooding. We're working with the Army Corps of Engineers on the big flood project, I urge people to contact their county, state, and federal legislators so that we can get the funding for it. A large portion of it is paid by the federal and state and county government, and it's a $60 million project.
Is that right? And what do they expect to do for that?
That will be to widen and deepen the rivers. It should save keep about 200 properties dry.
Really? Well, it's been a long time coming, and
yes,
I think it's been...
but the end is in sight if we can get the money from our higher level legislators.
Okay, well, we're going to be hearing more about that in the coming weeks, I'm sure.
Yes, I believe the public comment will start soon. I'm not exactly sure about the timeline.
Okay. Andre, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
You too.
Good luck with it. Just careful getting off of there. That next step's a killer. This one is the Celtics Cross Pipe and Band. Celtic Cross Pipe and Drums, I should say. And they're out of Danbury, Connecticut. And they're leading the Darien Fire Department, the Darien, Connecticut.
Now, Ken, here's a question for you. What's the difference between a pipe and drum and a fife and drum?
I'm not that good on my musical instruments.
All right,
I'm
next
sure there
year,
is a
we're going to have you look that
and
up.
it might be one of those ones that depends on how you pronounce it.
Okay.
And we have the ladies' auxiliary looking very good here. Shirt, ties.
Quiet for a moment. So the Celtic Cross Pipe and Drum are ushering in Darien, Connecticut.
Yeah. The next one up should be Bodega, which is one of those fire companies that always competes for the longest distance.
Right,
to come
but
to our
Darien
parade.
is first. Darien is right at us.
That's what we're looking at.
Right at the
Darien.
reviewing center.
What I like is their engine numbers are the same as ours. We have
Is
an
that
engine
right?
41 and an engine 42, but this is Connecticut, so it's allowed.
It won't get mixed up. You know what people don't realize, there are so many insignias on the trucks themselves.
Yeah, well, a lot of them, like this one says Fire Company Number 2. They were probably the second company formed within their fire department, things like that. Some of them also have names, like you do football names, New York Giants or something like that. They'll have a name that they refer to themselves as.
Right. Giants, but there's Columbia. I mean, each house.
Yeah, each house has it. We have here in the village, you have Volunteers Fire and Engine, which is down on the bend of Mamaroneck Avenue. Up on Barry Avenue, we have Columbia, which actually was named after the sailing vessel Columbia. Up on Halsted Avenue at the Harrison line, it's called Border Patrol because they're right there by the border. Things like that.
Okay. All right, Pagoda.
There you go, Pagoda.
Now those folks come a long distance.
That's a long ride. Yes, it is. I'm not sure of the mileage anymore, but they definitely... What are we doing? What are we doing up on the roof?
All right.
That's
well,
not... Oh, they're going to salute. I see what they're doing. Very nice.
I think they're looking for a
if
trophy.
you're watching that, they're looking for their long-distance trophy. They're saluting the judges. Hey, Judge, look at me. All right, followed behind them is going to be the 4th Division coming up.
Oh, that's our last division.
Yep, and we got past Chief Chris Simonowski, and probably with one of his youngsters at his hand, another recruit. And his aide is Lieutenant Carl Portoretta, and his father was a chief here in the department some years back. And here we go. The Tappan Z Bridgman for their second pass. And Brewster also has a scout unit. You'll see at the end of the marching unit, the guys in the tan shirts, or gray shirts, I guess you would call them. You'll also notice some of these different units have different numbers printed on them. Those are their radio call numbers, and they indicate divisions and so forth when they're on the radio. So,
How have cell phones changed life? You no longer need walkie-talkies.
you can't use a cell phone on a fire ground. Begin with all your turnout gear, and you can't operate that way. Plus the fact then you're calling different people. Pretty much the walkie-talkie
It's still in a distance.
it's got a good life to run yet.
I see.
Phones may take over eventually, but I'm not quite sure. I can't see you in turnout gear dialing up somebody.
I mean, I just wonder if smartphones haven't revolutionized firefighting. The GPS devices, the ability to find things.
Currently, we're experimenting with a program here. When the fire calls comes in, there's an outfit called I Am Responding, and I can punch in my name on it and tell them whether I'm coming or not. That is currently on our phone, but I can't see using the phone on the fire ground per se. There's still things you have to dial up, scan, and look at with gloves and gear on.
Sure,
that doesn't work yet.
You can't have texting gloves, eh?
Not yet.
All right.
It'll be interesting when Google gets here and we all have the glasses. And could be an interesting event.
Well, it could be an advance, certainly, to be able to see into a building.
We now have cameras that read heat. When we can go into a room that's so full of smoke, but it can pick up the hot spots in the room. It can find if somebody's down on the floor, their body heat will show up in the camera, and we can find people quicker and easier. And has led to many rescues, not only here but other fire departments. It's become a fairly standard piece of equipment in most fire departments. It's one of the first things to go into the building so they can do their searching.
I love to hear that, where technology really does improve the quality of life. All right, our friends from Scarsdale, we see you.
Yep.
We hear you.
And they also have a volunteer contingent in Scarsdale.
All volunteer in Scarsdale?
No, they primarily a paid department, but they have a small volunteer contingent.
I see. So is it just the volunteers who come to the parade?
Many times.
Interesting.
Sometimes they get a piece of equipment that's assigned to the volunteers, and other times one of the career drivers will drive the equipment, and he's responsible for the piece.
How does that work when you have a partial volunteer and partially paid or professional fire department? Do they generally work well together?
Most times you get along, but like any job where somebody's getting a check and somebody's volunteering, there are times when there's a clash, but by and large, across the years, we've worked it out. You've always got personality clashes.
Well, that happens, of course.
But by and large, they've made the system work.
Okay. This is probably New York State Courts.
Coming up, it'd be the next band, I believe.
That's right. They'd be the next band
And
leading
this is
into
Scarsdale. This might still be Scarsdale walking by us. Huh? This is Connecticut? Oh, okay. Norotan, Connecticut.
Norotan, Connecticut.
All right, I missed that piece.
Scarsdale had a very small contingent this year.
Well, as I say, they mostly send the volunteers, and I don't think they have a large group, but they do have a group.
Norotan, Connecticut.
Many years ago when I was a state fire instructor, I worked with one of their training officers up there. This is Norotan open cab. You don't see much of these anymore
No, I
either,
wouldn't
open
think
cab.
so.
When I first learned to drive here in the village, they were all open cabs.
Is that right? And there is no hood to put on that? No roof?
There might be a canvas they can put up in a rainy weather, but probably also a parade. That's probably a parade unit at these days, more than likely. It can work and will work if needed, but it's probably a parade unit. All right, our next band should be coming, which I believe is going to be the New York State Court, which are court officers.
You think so?
New York City court officers.
Oh, okay. They've got a little bit out of order. The regulators.
The regulators, okay.
Right.
We have a change in the marching orders here.
The regulators, and they're going to march in Mahopac Falls.
Right.
Coming after them. we're joined with State Assemblyman Steve Otis. Thanks for stopping by.
Well, this is such a very special, unique Mamaroneck event.
It is.
And all these departments that come from not just Westchester, but Connecticut, Long Island, and great equipment, a great tradition, and this is one of the things that makes Mamaroneck unique.
Very special.
And people line up, and if you look along the sides, people from all over are here on the sidewalk, not just Mamaroneck people. So it's
What do you think
wonderful.
the longest distance people come for this parade?
I told you, my brother drove in from Texas for this parade. He lives in
Texas.
Corpus Christi, and he drove in for this. So
I have a feeling there were a couple of other draws here.
Oh no, we just called him up, said he's got to come. That's it.
What do you think, Steve? How far do you think people travel?
I don't know. I saw a bunch of Connecticut departments here, which is pretty good, and not even close by ones. I saw Kent, Connecticut. That's pretty far.
Then we got 2 from New Jersey that are
Right,
Yeah,
and then Broad Channel from way out on the island.
And the Broad Channel and Levittown is out on the island.
Who
also.
else locally does a parade?
In terms of fire department parades, I'm not sure.
Yes, Mount Kisco has a parade. Terrytown usually has a parade. Then at the convention that they run every year, different cities around, communities around the county, they'll sponsor a parade in that community depending on who's sponsoring the convention on a given year.
Okay.
I think as we participate, I think in 5 different parades, and every year they give us a list, and the companies choose which ones they want to go.
And of course, everybody wants to come to Mamaroneck.
Absolutely.
That's number one,
Can't
right?
beat them hot dogs and
We
refreshments.
turn people away?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Next
okay.
factor, drumline.
But Steve, you get to see a lot of communities.
Drumline.
You get to see a lot of communities. Is there any other parade like this?
There is not, and you know, Mamaroneck has another new parade, which is the St. Patrick's Day parade, which doesn't rival this in terms of size, but for a parade that's only 3 years old, it's really taken off. It's really a nice thing. So,
Well, people enjoy these events.
pardon me?
People enjoy events like
Well,
this.
you know, we do more than live in places. We live with each other in places, and this is part of what this community is about. So it's very special. I love coming.
Steve, I'm going to ask you to stay right there, but we don't talk over the drums. So.
All right, I believe this group that we have is the regulators at the moment.
Try this at home now.
Probably the X Factor drum line.
Oh yeah, I probably missed. No, you have that, and I didn't get that list. We can see who rates around here.
I see. Mine gets hand delivered to me.
X Factor. This only goes on in front of the judges' stand, you realize.
Good to be young.
We should get Dave out here on the street and he can lead.
Oh, okay. Next year we'll make sure we get on there. Or Steve is going to be out there next year.
I'm tone deaf, so
I don't think you have to sing. You just have to.
you can't be tone deaf and dance successfully. Trust me.
They don't have to go to the gym, you know. No expenses. Thank you, ladies.
And they're definitely young.
Look at the drummer. Get the drummer some. Get the drummer some. Are we going to have to do that later, Chief?
Look at this little one.
I'm gonna head out.
Okay, thanks for stopping.
Go back.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
And I believe that they come to us from Greenberg. They are leading the Greenberg Fire Department, so
Captain Jeffrey Jones, Town of Greenberg. Thank you, Captain. We had to go to that park up there. There was Yosemite Park or something. I asked them for directions. Town of Greenberg. Thank you. I got a walk. Hello.
we got Turn of the River come through. Is that where I don't see a unit number?
I have a feeling.
Fairview. No, this is still Greenburgh. Fairview Fire Department is part of Greenburgh.
Okay. Greenburgh's a very big town.
Yes. Covers a number of communities up there. Got Hartdale, Scarsdale. And they also have a very good horn.
They need to let us know they're here.
I'm not sure. I don't know if there's another unit behind these folks. This might be it. Glenbrook, Connecticut. And this is engine 34, also Glenbrook, which is Connecticut,
Glenbrook
which is part of the Greenwich communities.
Well, Glenbrook is the last contingent, Ken. I think that's it.
Okay, we're done.
Usually we have our village of Mamaroneck come back down with ladders and sirens, but not tonight. But let's take a moment. Let's take a moment to thank everybody who's been involved in this production. Of course, there's our producer, Rob Moretti. Molly Spillane's allowed us to have a roof cam, and Matt Sullivan is there. That's why we haven't seen Matt.
Okay.
He's hanging up on the roof. Dina, of course, has been here as our talent cam. She's been looking at us and giving us floor managing advice all evening. The roving cam is Rob Moretti. He's been on the street and fortunately has avoided being hit by any fire department trucks. Still camera is Christina Carino Forrest, who's been here also helping people up and down onto this wonderful truck that's been donated to us by Vincent's Garage. Of course, we have to give it back, but they give it to us every year for the Firemans Parade, and we appreciate them so much. Molly Splane, of course, thank you so much for the roof access. Rich Schlingerland, Village of Mamaroneck, for power.
Okay.
What would we do without power?
Also, for those of you at home, you probably were looking for this parade at parade night. There has been a policy change in that they're taping the program and they're going to replaying it, which I understand is going to be on Monday evening of the coming
Well, you're
week.
going to see it over and over and over again in our new HD quality productions. So look for it on LMC, and thank you so much at home for watching. We hope you were at the parade with us. It was a beautiful night. Ken, same time next year?
Same time next year. It was a fun night. We had great weather. We've got a nice red skyline up there, which means sailor's delight. Red at night, sailor's delight.
All right. I'm going to be looking for you.
All right.
Don't you
same
hold me
thing.
up. So next year is your 50th anniversary with the fire department?
I'll be in the 50 years, and actually I grew up here on Mamaroneck Avenue. 1947, I was probably 6 years old watching a parade from the apartment house.
Well, we'll
up
have
the
to do
street.
something special in honor of your 50th year. So don't forget, I'll be there. Make sure you're there.
All right.
I'm Alice Bloom, and with me is Ken Barron. We'll see you next year.
Yep, good night and thank you.